Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Hope you are having a great day. So, today we're going to talk about product discovery made simple. I just want to say there's something quite funny happening at this moment that someone from Hong Kong created a fake account with my name and is inviting people right now in the post to join this session. I hope some people didn't fall into that. I think it's a scam. I reported that to LinkedIn, but I couldn't block, I couldn't stop that. So hope it will be fine and we can get more people here. So how are you doing? Is it everything fine? How do you hear the sound and the image? So I hope that you can see me and hear well. You didn't fall into this trap here of the guy from Hong Kong. That's so annoying. All right, all right. So I see here already 24 people. We're gonna start briefly. So maybe you just write in the chat where you're from, what you expect from today. I would be very curious to hear from you, and then we are gonna go from there. Hello, Sahin. Yeah, you are always joining the webinars. That's great. Hey, Oliver. So you connected with me the other day, so that's super cool. You're already joining here the session. That's really great. It's great to have you all here. Yeah. So let's see. We have already here 29 people. Hope more will join, and some people didn't fall to this scam on LinkedIn. So annoying this thing that happened. All right. So I read some of your comments in the Google Forms I post there. I think I can address most of the expectations. For today, what you can expect is knowing something, what helps team, what doesn't help, and so on. So I will share many aspects of why product discovery is important and what that prevents us. So thanks for that. Right, I see already 30 people here joining. We'll wait 1 or 2 more minutes and go. That's then we will just start going here. All right. Yeah. Let's see here. It seems that some people fell into the trap there within the link this guy posted on LinkedIn. Oh, so the guy I think it's a bot. Don't know if you have seen that, but I will even share my screen with you to see what the trap is happening. See more people joining already. We're gonna start briefly here, and then we will go with the presentation. I'm just a bit bugged with this situation that has just happened. I'll share with you, you understand what is happening. You see here what happened? There's another Dave Pereira here. He says he's a product leader, thought provoker, and public speaker, and he is just a fake account. And this guy is posting things every couple of seconds. As you can see here, there's a bot. And LinkedIn is not fast enough to tell people not to join this. So I kept deleting that, but unfortunately, I think some people fell into that. So that's why some people may not be here yet. How can it be? Some people just trying to squeeze it in here. So it's impossible to believe that. Fake account. So just don't fall into the trap. I'm not Chinese. I'm from Brazil. So all right. But we are not here to talk about fake accounts. We're going to talk about product discovery today. So that's where we are, why we are here. Discovery made simple. Just want to help teams create value instead of useless features. And here we are. Let's use the time to the best we can. And I'd like to start here looking at a common scenario, and we're going to exchange a lot about it. So it doesn't matter where you are right now. If you are working with product, there will be a company scenario. It can be a non-profit company, it can be another, and so on, a public company, private. It doesn't matter. But there's a company, and the company will have what? There will be leadership. And then there will be other teams, for example, customer services, marketing, there will be also operations, and so on. And eventually there will be a product team. And what does it mean, a product team? Some team that will be responsible of getting things done, delivering. But then everyone has a lot of brilliant ideas. Leadership has this amount of shiny ideas. Customer service also. And then marketing, operations, and product teams. So everyone has something and everyone wants something done in the product because they have the most brilliant idea ever. Then what happens? There's a product backlog. And almost everything goes inside this product backlog. And eventually the product team will prioritize something and pick what is on top, work very hard on that, exchange with leadership, exchange with customer service, and so on and so on. Exchange with different departments. And what happens? What happens is eventually there will be a shiny new feature exactly like this, very beautiful. But if you look here, what is missing in this picture? Something's wrong here, right? Everyone had a lot of ideas. And then internally, there was a lot of conversation, backlog management, and so on and so on. And then a new feature came in. What would be the result of that? Let's say this new feature goes to these guys, the customers. What do they do when they see the feature? Can they use that? Is it the thing they were waiting for that would change their life for the better? Maybe they look at that and start having question marks. Maybe they are confused. In truth, they have no idea what that is for. Why? Look at this. What is the problem with this approach? It is an inside-out approach, not outside-in. So most companies have many ideas, and then they fall in love with the ideas, and then they do something about it, which is not wrong. Which is wrong is ignoring the customer. Yes, there is no alignment, Sahir. Exactly as you said, no alignment. Also, there is no customer involvement, end user. There are a lot of assumptions that are unchecked. No one knows if that is the right thing to do, but everyone starts just doing it. So it is a big trap. And this is where product discovery can help you. Let me give you a better overview of this scenario. Just look at this now. 9 out of 10 ideas will fail. This is not me saying that. This is reality. That's what happened. Most of the ideas will fail. If you have a solid way of testing your ideas, maybe you can find the one that is successful very fast. But what if you don't have? You think all ideas are great. What is going to happen? Well, we're going to talk about it. The question you need to spend a lot of time with is this one. How fast do you drop bad ideas? It is a fact. All of us will stumble upon bad ideas. And what we do with that? Well, we need to talk about them. We need to identify them and drop as fast as possible. If we don't do that, we will end up creating some useless things, so to say. Let's imagine a common scenario here. There's a timeline. And then, remember, all the shiny ideas, they start here in the beginning. So far, it's fine. But what do we do with this? That's the, let's say, the $1,000,000 question. A common way is spending a lot of time discussing ideas on a superficial and abstract level. Here might be that the hippo, the highest paid person opinion, will drive one idea further. And then a lot of people invest time designing and so on, this idea and so on. And then once you design the idea, let's do some user tests with the idea and so on and blah, blah, blah. And then you fall into confirmation bias. And then you invest more time into that. And then you fall into commitment escalation. Wow, that doesn't sound good, right? But then what happens? You invest a lot of time. You think your idea is great. Well, let's develop. Let's get something done. And then you invest time developing your shiny, beautiful idea and so on. And then you launch. You put that in the hands of the users. What's going to happen? What do you think now? Maybe 3 months have passed, or maybe you were fast and 1 month has passed. And what happened? It happens this. Your shiny idea will become crap, something that people don't need. And then you wasted your time. So if you look at this, what's the problem with this approach? Well, you just invested too much time into something that was worthless. It's not going to bring value to your business. It's not going to bring value to your customers. Then you need to start all over again, trying to find the right idea. This scenario is a big, slow waste and demotivation. Yeah, as you're saying here, the customer is not going to use the feature. Simple like that, right? Very, very simple. Customers are not going to use it. That's it. Nothing else. But is it the way we want to work? Do we want these kind of things? If you follow this approach, you will build a lot of useless features before you deliver value. Because it's true. Many ideas will just not work. And that's the reality. We've got to deal with reality. It's too easy to fall in love with ideas and then waste your time. That's not the scenario I want you to be in. Let's imagine another scenario now. We have the same timeline. We started exactly the same. You have all beautiful ideas shining from the very beginning. But then, let's look in a more pragmatic way. Instead of having an abstract discussion, maybe we go here to evaluate. You see what I'm talking about? I'm moving all ideas to phase that I want to evaluate. What the heck do I mean by that? What I mean is the following. All companies have some direction they want to take. They have a business outcome. They have a product vision. They also have a strategy. And then you start asking which ideas do not contribute to any of these. And then what do you do with these ideas? Well, you drop them. They don't deliver business outcome. They are not related to your product strategy. They don't help you get to your product vision. Then you just drop them. Why even bother spending time with them? You don't need that. And then you say, all right, now we have less ideas. What do we do? Let's invest some time learning. Let's try and understand, how do customers care about what we are trying to do? How many customers would it be? Are they willing to pay or not? Let's invest some more time understanding if we can get internal support with that. Let's say like this. Is there enough desirability? Oh, okay, let's understand that. Is it feasible for us to do it? Can we do it? Is it viable? And so on. All right, then we are going to learn more. And what do? We realize that some things, the users, they just don't desire that. Maybe we don't have enough knowledge to make that possible or support internally. What do? Start dropping. Just invested a little bit of time here and we drop. But then the three ideas, they really seem more promising. And now it's time to invest into experiment. Let's come up with different solutions idea and then invest time trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And did you hear what I said? Different solutions idea. I don't want to encourage you to pick one idea you had and implement a single solution test with your users. I would like you to test 3 different solutions for the same problem. Because bear in mind, a problem is something that can be solved in different ways. And you don't know which one is best for your end user. So what about trying with 3 different ones? Start small and then scale. Inspect and adapt. Focus on learning. And then you move on. Then what do you do later? You realize that some things, they simply don't work. That's okay. That's really okay. But then something resonated with your audience. And that is promising. Then you launch. Then you go big with that. And you create a lot of value. And you see, this is a more progressive way. You drop the bad ideas on the way. You start with all of them. And you move fast. Now you have something that is way more interactive. And the secret is very simple. Separating bad ideas from good ones. Product discovery done right helps you create value faster. That's what I want to help you with. When you understand what product discovery is and how to apply that, you increase the odds of being successful. But if you don't understand what that is, well, How can you create value? That's the interesting thing, right? So let's talk a little bit about discovery versus delivery. What is that? We have here delivery, and then we have discovery. There are many discussions around that. I'm not telling you about the waterfall process, okay? I'm against that. I'm talking to you about how to invest time on each approach. So, delivery is about producing what creates value, and discovery is uncover what creates value. Funny enough, many teams invest a lot of time into delivery, trying to produce with what creates value without knowing what will create value. So how can you produce something if you don't really know exactly what you're solving? That puzzles me. But that's the difference, discovery and delivery. But what happens in reality? Reality is like this. 90% of team's time goes to delivery, and then around 10% goes to discovery. Yeah, it happens some discovery. Maybe the discovery happens within the top management, company leadership, happens outside the product teams. There's some discovery in a very low level. Is that helpful or not? Well, I don't think so. A better way for me is focusing like this: 75% discovery and 25% delivery. I know you may look at me and say that I am nuts, that what I'm saying here makes no sense. Is that right or not? So let me tell you one thing. Remember, you need to drop 9 ideas out of 10 to find the good one. That is about discovery. And you may look, does it mean a kind of a waterfall? There are some people work up front and so on. No, this is like a three amigos. You get 3 different perspectives, like, for example, a user researcher, software engineer, and a product manager, and you continuously work together. Product discovery doesn't say that you have no engineering development there. You will create, I would say, low staging products there and try uncovering if that is worth investing or not. So first you build to learn, then to scale. But when it comes to building to learn, you're going to drop some ideas. You are figuring out what makes sense and what doesn't. The difference is when you have a discovery mindset, you are fine dropping bad ideas. When you have a delivery mindset, you want to deliver more and more features, thinking like a great product is the one that is full of features instead of a great product is the one that creates value. So that's the funny aspect that happens quite often. Just reading here some comments, then I will also help you. So I see one here. Sometimes teams treat discovery and delivery as sequential or linear approach. Yes, this is wrong. This is something that happens in parallel. Teams do have a duality. It is something that runs in parallel. So let's say in order to deliver, you need to discover. So it means you need to continuously work towards that. I like saying that in the beginning, we accept we don't know everything and we continuously try uncovering, and we start small and then we go big and so on. So strive to create like weak evidence to see if it's worth investing. Let me give you an example. In one of the places I worked, we had an idea that creating a blog would educate people to buy our product. We assumed they would be interested in the blog. We assumed that. What did we do first? Did we create the blog and all the infrastructure and so on? Nope. The only thing we did was to create a link on our website. And we put there, wine made simple, and see how many people would click there. That was a painted door test. We put that live for 2 hours. Surprisingly, 10 to 15% of users clicked on that link, and we could see people were interested. Does that justify us building everything up front? Of course not. We could see there was some interest. Then the next step was to put maybe some subscription there to see if people would be willing to subscribe for our first episode of our blog. And then some people converted. Then I said, okay, let's create something. So that is what discovery is. You use some different techniques to create value as fast as possible, but you create value for things customers care about. There's one question here. Why don't do discovery, delivery and discovery in parallel? Well, actually, I'm encouraging you to do that. I'm saying you need to invest more time into discovery than into delivery. And what I mean by that is you are going to invest time figuring out if it's worth building, and you are going to drop that. Let's say that in the beginning, you will create a lot of technical debt because your solution is not scalable. But once you find that your solution is scalable, then you pay off the technical debt and then you scale that. So that's the mindset, but it will happen in parallel. It's not phase. I don't like the word phase. Say this is something that will help you create value. This is in parallel. All right. So this is what happens. And I like looking at this sentence here. This is from Albert Einstein. There are some variations of this, but you get the point. What he says is, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solution. So he wants to understand the problem space, and then he would move to the solution space. Why is that? Because once you understand the problem you're trying to solve and its constraint, finding the solution will be easier. Funny enough, we spend, actually, I would say the contrary, 55 minutes talking about the solution without knowing the problem. So that's what happens. So this is quite interesting. All right. So there was here a question in the example of the blog link. What percentage of users did you expect, and how did you know 15% were enough to invest into making a blog? So actually, we did a kind of quantitative test that we said every 100 users that arrive on our website, we would like to have 10 users. That's what we said. And during that 2 hours, we had around 500 users. And we did some calculation. If we would get some people there, ultimately, we wanted to convert users. But it was not enough to just find building the blog. Not at all. But what we wanted to do is to do a test that goes into minutes. Because that's what I want to tell you. Many times, people want to invest massive amount of time talking. Is it worth building or not? Should we do a market research? What about getting hands-on and being more pragmatic? This test took us no more than 15 minutes to set up and 2 hours to run. After 2.5 hours, we had results. And we said, all right, there is some interest in this, and maybe it is worth building. So let's do a better analysis here and go trying to get stronger evidence. Then we started doing customer interview, and then we started trying to understand more and so on. But that was just the initial size. What I'm saying is the initial tests you do, they are in matters of minutes and hours, not days, not weeks. They are fast. You want to learn fast. That is all about. All right. And what is this product discovery? I like what Teresa Torres says, which is the hard reality is that product strategy doesn't happen in the solution space. Fun enough, we try talking a lot about solution. So Teresa Torres is the one who created the opportunity solution tree, and she's amazing. She has the book Continuous Discovery Habits, and I recommend that to everyone. Now I want to hear from you. So how do you experience product discovery? Please go to Mentimeter and type this link here. I can give that in a link here very easily, and then I want to learn from you. So I will just post the link here in the chat, the comments, and you can click. So let's see here what you have. So how often do you observe the following in your scenario? So from never to always. And here we have some aspects. So the first one is work to drive clearly defined business outcome. So it means what you do every single day is driving business outcome. You connect your actions to outcomes, not outputs. You interview customers at least once a week. Wow. If you don't know what your customers care about, how do you create products for them? You need to understand that. And then we have the third one here, uncover customers' pains, needs, and wishes. and connect them to business outcome. The truth is not everything is worth solving. Some things, well, they won't matter. Not enough users care about that. And if you solve that, it won't create enough business value. So I see already the first answers kicking in. Let's see how many more we get. Please do that. This will help us understand the scenario. And looking at the fourth one, focus on solving one customer opportunity at a time. When we try doing many things in parallel, we may stretch ourselves too thin. Then we don't have enough energy to go deep enough of each initiative. And what is the result? Watered down output. And watered down output won't create outcome. And all we want is outcome. And some people misunderstand what I say. I'm not saying that you don't create output. I'm saying that output is a means to an end. And the end is creating value. That is the outcome. And what about the other one? Ideate on solutions to drive business outcome while solving customers' problem. Solutions also need to solve something. It's like what I just said. Identify assumptions behind your solution. We don't talk enough about them. Everyone has assumptions, but sometimes they are just in our subconscious, or sometimes we ignore them. We think we know best. Yeah, we don't. That's reality. And then we have the other one, decide on implementing solutions based on evidence. That's the example I gave. Well, we were talking about blog. Should we invest like 1 hour talking about blog, or maybe 15 minutes just putting a link on our header and just see what happens? See if people click there. And if people click there, then there is an interest. Then you can invest a little bit more. Don't waste your time in abstract discussion. Bring to something tangible as fast as possible. And test critical assumptions before you commit to delivering a solution. And have you seen this? I said critical assumptions. Critical assumptions are the ones that if that goes wrong, if you falsify that assumption, you don't have a business because they are critical and you have no evidence about it. So these are very critical ones. Prioritize that. You don't have to test all assumptions you have, only the most important ones. So here, the numbers, we already have 21 answers. It's quite interesting if you look what happened. So interviewing customers at least once a week, almost never. Why is that? What is holding you back from interviewing customers? This is highly important. Any product or service exists to serve customers. Without customers, we have no business. That's it. And then to the others, see what happens. This will make it harder for us to create value faster. So that is where product discovery can help you change the scenario for the better. Let me give you some more insights about this. Let me talk about what I say as discovery elements. I call this, the first one is business outcomes. You need to start with business outcomes, right? Which direction are you driving? What are you trying to create? But that's not enough. If you say, for example, we are trying to increase our acquisition. So we want to increase the speed we acquire customers. All right, that's easy, right? You just drop your prices by 20% and you acquire more customers. But you need to know what the company is unwilling to sacrifice. Maybe the company says, increase the acquisition speed, but keep the revenue and the profitability at current stage. So you don't want to lose money. And what is the company willing to sacrifice? So you need to understand the boundaries. Otherwise, just saying like, okay, let's just acquire more customers. No, drop the prices. No, understand the boundaries. So this is about business outcome, what you achieve, what you keep, and what you sacrifice. Then comes the customer journey. Does everyone in your team understand the whole spectrum of customer journey? Where it starts? Where do they bounce? Where do they continue? What kind of emotion they have in each part of the journey? What can you do there? This is a highly valuable exercise. If you just sit down, ask each member of your team to create a customer journey, and then you will see how everyone is seeing the road from different lenses. And that's fine. Then you have time to talk about it and come to a general picture. If you don't have that, all the time you were talking about apples and bananas. You need to solve this. And then uncover opportunities. Once you have the customer journey and you have the business outcome, you start reflecting. Okay, remember what I said, the emotions and so on? What do customers care about? What is important for them? What kind of pains do they have? Then you need to prioritize something and focus. You don't want to solve all the problems at once. You want to solve the ones customer care the most. So, and then as you prioritize, you say, what kind of solutions could we create to the problems we decided to solve? You ideate on different solutions and you come up with something to create value. And then you test your assumptions because it's natural you're going to have assumptions. So, which kind of assumptions do you have? The critical one and so on, and you test. And then you make decisions based on evidence. And these are the elements. And then you look at me, wow, that's a good diagram. So I start these and go there and so on and so on. No, please don't do that. This is a journey. And you are the driver. You are not the passenger. You are going to drive your car here. You need to decide what makes more sense at this moment. It will be that some point in time you are uncovering opportunities and they are unrelated to your business outcome, but maybe you have found something that can change the business landscape for the better. You maybe need to drive back and change the business outcome and see if it makes sense to focus on what you've just uncovered. Or you realize your customer journey is wrong. So you are taking the lead here and choosing which place to stop and so on. And here I'm not telling you to do a waterfall thing. This is very fast. I'm talking about things that happens in hours. Some may take 1 or 2 days, but it's not weeks, not months. I'm not telling you to spend 1 week prioritizing and focusing. I'm asking you to uncover opportunities and talk to people around you, and then you will decide how to progress. This is dynamic. And then once you have these ingredients, you have better chance of success. So that's what I want to encourage you. Reflect on each of these elements. What do you have in place? What don't you? Are you taking a driver's seat or are you taking the passenger seat where stakeholders define what happens and so on? Don't take my word on that. There are a lot of books about it. Continuous Discovery Habits by Teresa Torres, Testing Business Ideas, and Inspired by Marty Kagan. You can look at these and learn a lot from them. I'm sharing my experience here and many other aspects. So I hope this helps you. So someone asked me here one question. I will just answer this. In your experience, how much time generally this entire cycle take? Oh, it really depends, It is very interactive. It's about the mindset. Going back to the blog Made Simple. In 1 week, we did at least 20 tests. We test many things: painted doors, 404, customer interview, expert interview, and so on. It was 1 week, and that included development. It is about putting energy and focus on that. And then, of course, at some point in time, we had to deliver something more robust. But the journey is quite iterative. So you start small, and you start with a smaller audience. We didn't want to target 100% of our audience in the beginning. We started targeting 1%, then 5%, and so on and so on. So focus on the mindset. Every scenario will be different. You need to understand your scenario. A B2C is quite fast. A B2B is different. There is more resistant. You need to meet your customers where they are, maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of them, but it cannot be 1 mile ahead of them, because then you are shouting. They're not going to listen to you. So what does Marty Kagan say about it? He says that the purpose of product discovery is to quickly separate the good ideas from bad. So, and what else? The output of product discovery is a validated product backlog. Specifically, this means getting answers to 4 critical questions. Will the user buy this or choose to buy it? Can the user figure out how to use this? Can our engineers build that? Can our stakeholders support this? What is it that? These are about the specs we want to use. Usability, desirability, feasibility, and viability. We want to look at that. And I would add one more, ethically. Is it ethical to do it? Should we do it? So we need to reflect on the ethical aspect. For example, if you would share everything with the users, would they be fine with that? If not, why are we doing it? Reflect on that. It's important to be ethical. And today, I want to share with you what I'm launching, the product discovery made simple. Why am I doing that? Because I want to help people create value faster. And I'm launching a crash course with that. And I call it Product Discovery Made Simple. It's just 2.5 hours. And I want to help you rock the product road. I will give you way more aspects than I've just shared with you. Product Discovery Made Simple has this goal, increasing the odds of creating value while reducing the chance of creating crap. I don't want you creating things that are useless. I don't want you wasting your time. I want you to create value and be proud of that with your teams. So what you're going to learn from this course, the key elements of product discovery. I shared them with you in a high level. If you take this course, you're going to go deep on that. You're going to learn balancing product discovery and delivery. How can you get support from your leadership to do that? How can you apply product discovery in different scenarios? Also, how can you help management understand and support product delivery? And ultimately, identifying and testing assumptions as fast as possible. So this is a course you can join. And that's a little bit about me, as you know. My motto is untrapping product teams. I do believe many teams are just trapped and they need help untrapping themselves. And that's why I invest so much time creating content. I have helped a lot of people. I created more than 200 articles already, helping teams untrap themselves. There are more than 8,000 students with my courses in 102 or 3 countries in the world. And I created this course to help you. I'm going to give you today a special discount. It's Udemy course. I don't want to supercharge you. I just want to supercharge your knowledge to rock the road. So the discount link is just posted here. If you want to rock the product road, join this course. As I said, more than 100 countries already. These are the students I have. 8,000 students worldwide. This is not only Udemy. I also give courses in person and other places and so on. Join the course and let's rock the product road. So I see that some people already enrolled to this. The ones who didn't, just go for that. This is a course that costs between 10 and 15 euros, something like that. I want to help you and I want to ensure that we create more value. So I talked a little bit about the course. Now we're going to talk more. How do we start with discovery? I'll just take one question and another here. I see one from Boris. How do you manage a good discovery with a fast development team? Sometimes velocity in development could reduce the time to discovery. Let me tell you one thing. I don't care about velocity. I don't like that. Velocity is looking at output. I want to look at outcome. I discourage teams to estimate backlog and store points. I don't think that is helpful. I want teams to have a mindset focused on outcome, focus on solving problems. What I balance is the following. There is a duality in the team. The product trio will be looking into the future and bringing that back to the team and understanding how we can create value with that. And the other part of the team will be helping with ideation and so on into the future. There's a need of having a balance in discovery and delivery. In different parts of the journey, there will be more people involved or less people involved. But don't focus on velocity. This is going to distract you from what really matters. Velocity is output oriented, and velocity will encourage teams to create more features. I want teams to be encouraged to create more value. That's my 2 cents on it. So how do you start with discovery? You start by setting your product trio. Your product trio should be a small team to ensure speed. Generally, 3 people, as the name says, trio is a good size. And you want to benefit from different perspectives. That's what you want to do. And generally, a good product trio has product manager, designer, and software engineer. Depending on the initiatives, you may need to have different disciplines. Maybe you have a data analyst or a data scientist. Maybe you need someone else. But I would say this team Needs to be a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 5. Don't go beyond that, because then the discussions won't be fast. Remember, I told you things should happen in matters of minutes and hours, not days or weeks. Here is about fast. The more people you put in the team, the slower it gets. So focus on the right disciplines. You want to get different perspective, and these people will walk through the whole journey. What am I talking about? If you're doing a customer interview, for God's sake, don't let the UX do that alone. Get everyone in the room. Get a software engineer to watch the interview. If you're doing a user test, a prototype, or so on, get everyone from your product trio to watch that, because you want to benefit from different perspectives. But then it comes to stakeholders. What do you do with that? Well, you don't want to leave them alone. You want to exchange with them. So you want to ensure that stakeholders understand how you think. What am I talking about? You see in the course, we're going to create opportunity solution tree. You're going to share that with stakeholders. You're going to walk them through your thoughts. You're going to explain what you have learned to the opportunity you identified with your customers. So you want to have them on board, but you don't want to overwhelm them with everything. You condense information. I call that this information on demand. You give the high level information, what they care about, and if they want to know more, they ask. But don't bombard them with information, just what they need at the moment. Focus on giving them the clarity. If you have the business outcome, you identified problems, tell them how much customers care about that, how that could drive business outcome, and so on, and what you need from them. Keep them on board, keep them close to you, and also keep them on the problem space. You don't want stakeholders defining solutions for a problem they don't understand. You will invite them for the ideation sessions. You want to get their perspective and everything, but you don't want them to go directly to the solution space, because if they don't understand the problem, they're not ready to talk about solution. Very important. Move away from opinions to facts. There's a typo here, sorry for that, but it's not options to facts, it's opinions to fact. So you want to ensure that you are talking about what is discovered, about facts. And as I said, give them relevant information. That's what matters. And here's a checklist for you. Look at this and understand if you have all of these aspects. If you don't, then you know where to act. Product trio, align with business stakeholders on the business outcome. You have a routine to continuously gain customer insight. What is this routine? Can be customer interviews once a week. Can be the data analysis and so on. It can be unmoderated prototype sessions and different things. But this is routine. And yes, I'm telling you to interview customers every week, even if you don't have an agenda for that, because you need to continuously learn from customers. Nothing can replace contact with customers. Share progress with stakeholders. Focus on the problem space. Share the gained insights with the whole team. Boris, you asked about the speed of development team and so on. So you want to have them in the loop. You want to walk them in your discoveries, opportunity solution tree. And when it comes to insights you have and ideation, you want the whole team on board. You don't want to throw solutions over the fence and expect them to commit. They need to be part of the solution ideation. Your role, if you're part of the product trio, is to bring the right context to the team. And as I said already, you need to pick carefully. Prioritize one opportunity at a time and then come up with different solutions for that opportunity. Don't try prioritizing all the opportunities at the same time, because then you will just be too stretched and you won't create value fast enough. And for each solution, for each idea you prioritize, come up with 3 solutions. This will help you avoid confirmation bias and commitment escalation. Define your assumptions behind the solutions. That's what we talked. Desirability. Do users want that? Do they care about it? Feasibility. Can we do it? Do we have the technical ability to create a solution for that? Viability. Are we going to gain support from business to do it? Usability. Will users understand how to use it ethically? Should we do it? Run experiments as often as possible. Remember, start small and grow based on evidence. In the beginning, you just want to know the direction. You don't want to prove yourself right. Actually, you want to prove yourself wrong and then adapt as fast as possible. Remember, drop the bad ideas. And what is the last one? Rinse and repeat. That's it. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. That's it. So, last part here. Winning products come from the deep understanding of the user's needs, combined with an equally deep understanding of what's just now possible. Some ideas, they are good, but they don't fit for our moment. You need to find what is important for this moment, right now. So that is highly relevant. Focus on what's now possible. And I want to close this session here by knowing what is your takeaway. Then we can have some question and answers here. Still have some time. So let me give you a link again to make it easier. I'm going to share here on Mentimeter. So you get the link here in the chat. You can also go to menti.com and just type these numbers and share. What are you taking away from the session today? So what did you learn? What are the things that you're taking with you? Remember, start with this session. I wanted to help you learn something that you could apply from today on. I gave you the discovery elements. I gave you what happens when we talk only internally. What happens when we try going with one idea at a time? We may end up delivering crap and so on. Yeah, there are some questions here, Red Sea. I will talk about them. But I want to see what you're taking away. Then we will move on. So Constantine put here, how often this approach is used in the industry? Not often enough. That's what I can tell you. Many teams focus on the feature factory. Leadership defines what to do, and then they implement, and then they move to the next, and to the next, and to the next. If an industry is doing product discovery, you can test that in different ways without talking about product discovery. Some aspects to you. I will give you some questions. When was the last time you retired a feature? When was the last time you decided against a feature after evidence? What kind of conversations do teams have during refinement? Do they talk about problems to solve or solutions to implement? Do they focus on estimates or do they focus on problem understanding? Product discovery is about putting your focus and attention on what matters most, which is solving problems users care about while delivering business outcomes. That is highly important. So just looking here at what you are taking away with you, experiment with different solutions, outside in versus inside out. Talk to users, love that. Delivering discovery, product discovery, validate assumptions. Dangerous word. You don't want to validate assumptions. You want to test them. The word validate is misleading. Big chance you are going to strive to confirm your assumption is right. Very dangerous because you're going to find reasons to prove yourself right. Try having a falsification mindset. You want to prove yourself wrong. You want to go and test the assumption, prove you're wrong. This will give you a more open mind, and then you will learn more and consequently create a better product. So here we have some other things here. Team of 3 people, product trio. Yeah, that's very good. I'm glad you're taking this. Discovery more than delivery. I'm happy you're mentioning that. There are some other questions popping up here. Can you run the discovery and delivery within the same sprint? Yeah, that's the tricky thing. Yes, you can. But the problem is like people get so adamant about Scrum and sprint and so on. The thing is, Scrum is a means to an end. The goal is to create value. The team should have a sprint goal and define how to create value for that. You can have small experiments inside the sprint and so on. But don't focus on frameworks. Your goal is to create value. And if the sprint or so on isn't helping you, you can ditch that. Scrum is more like a mindset. Many people talk about sprint planning, and so on, and only a few people talk about the value behind Scrum. The values are more important than the events Scrum has. All right, so that's what we have here for today, and I hope you have enjoyed. And don't forget, you can join the course and hopefully you will benefit from it. I really hope you join the course and can benefit. Just something that I created 2.5 hours of content to share what I wish I knew, because I failed several times with product discovery. I used to focus a lot on delivery. I simply didn't know what discovery was. That was my scenario. We can take around here 5 minutes for questions. Is there any question you would like to exchange? Anything that you have? Just looking here. Thanks, Sehil. I really appreciate you enjoying the session. You've been part of many of my sessions. So that's amazing. It's amazing. I really like that. Well, I really appreciate what you also said here. It was good. I feel delighted by that. Prepare this was quite excited to share that with you. And I confess, I was a bit annoyed in the beginning when I saw this fake profile on my LinkedIn and trying to get people out of the session. I think some people didn't manage to join. There were 900 people supposed to join. I will share the recordings afterwards. I hope more people can benefit from that. You know, I share this because I really want to help people create value. Today is Saturday, and we are all here spending some time helping each other. I'm trying to help you figure out how to create value. And it hurts me to see some people trying to benefit from the audience I created there and so on. I created a fake profile. That was really annoying. I hope I could deliver something valuable to you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Konstantin. Thanks, Rado. I really appreciate that. You attended also the one we had in Serious Scrum meeting. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that was cool. It was amazing. So I'm glad you enjoyed. I see no questions coming in here. What I wanted to tell you is just the following. You can get content for free in my website. It's everything for free there. You're not going to pay for anything. You're going to consume all of my articles for free. You don't need to go to Medium. Go to my website. All content I create is for free in my website. Also, you can go to the product manifesto, get there what we believe to be helpful to create value sooner. Because the product manifesto is all about simplifying how product management is done. We boiled that down to 5 values and 12 principles, simplifying how product management is done. If you want, you can also join my newsletter and Substack. I created that to give 3 minutes of product knowledge every week. I make it sharp as I can. I bring a problem, and then on that problem, I tell you what can you do today for a better tomorrow. And then I ask you one question, and I give you some worth reading material. It's 3 minutes a week of reading time. If you want, you can subscribe to that. You can go to my website, it's there on the homepage, and I hope it helps you. Amazing. So thanks, everyone. I wish you a great weekend. Take time with your beloved ones, enjoy the weekend, and let's rock the product road. Thanks, everyone. Have a great time.